of like there's this lack of respect of just accepting someone as like that person's single, end of discussion. Like, get over it, whether they're looking for someone or whether they're happy or whether they've just come out of a relationship. Like, who actually gives a fuck? What is up, people? Very warm welcome back or to another video. For those of you who are brand new around here, a very warm welcome. I'm super grateful to have you come and join us. Now, I've been thinking of this topic for quite a while now, and that is what the actual F is society's issue with single women these days, because I could not get this out of my head when I came across so much content online, when it not even just child-free people and women specifically, but child-free single women, why these people are the most triggering for every other motherfucker out there. So I think I know deep down what the actual answer is, and I think you do too, but let's go a little bit deeper into this. Now, I'm going to be speaking about this from not only my own experience, but experience as someone who's been very, very single for a very long time, and someone who's now married and has been in a long-term relationship for almost a decade now. For those special lot amongst you who are looking for something ever so slightly more intimate, I have actually just launched my brand new membership. Details are down below. You just need to click join. My new membership, Unhinged, is for all of that content that will more than likely be taken down. I'm just creating my own online little space for those people who want to discuss all the topics that are somewhat taboo, such as religion, sex, abortion, and so, without the fear of it being taken down or without the fear of offending the whole wide world, because we all know how it goes right now. So if you're looking to join that community, all the details are down below. If you click join, you'll see all the benefits that you are getting as well. So let's get straight into this video. So when I was growing up and I was old enough to start dating, it was always highlighted to me how single I was. And it was always highlighted in a very negative light. So I remember in all the years and all the times of my life that I was a single lady, nobody was ever like, oh my God, I bet you're living your best life. It was always met with so much pity and so much like, oh, are you okay? Like, should we find you someone? Like, oh, such and such is single if you want to date them. And it was always, I always remember thinking like, why is this always greeted with so much pity? I don't understand. And it reminded me of also being a child-free individual as well, is that the first instinct people have is that they feel sorry for you. Even if it's a choice that you've made yourself, they're always like, oh, really? Oh, well, you know, you've got time, or you've got this, or such and such is single. And it's always like, why is it not a case of like, just live and let live? Because I'm pretty sure that when a male says that they're single, they do not get the same response. Like when a male is single, it's like, oh, he's a cool guy, he's a stud, I bet he's living his best life. But when a woman is single, it's like, oh, what are you doing wrong? What's wrong with you? Like, pull yourself together, find someone, hurry up, you're running out of time. I remember people always trying to set me up with people. They were always like, oh, why don't we go out on Friday and I'll get you chatting to such and such person and then see how it goes. And oh, that person has money, they'll look after you. And I'm like, are you actually kidding me right now? So no matter how much I try to explain to people, like, guys, okay, you have your best interests at heart, thanks very much, they just didn't get it. It was like people still felt sorry for me, and I never really understood why. I was kind of like, yeah, but I'm not pretending to live a great life. I am literally living a great life, you know, apart from its ups and downs, which is natural. So it just made me think during that time, I was always like, why are people feeling sorry for me? It's not like I'm dying or, you know, I have something really wrong with me, because I knew I didn't. I was just having fun, meeting new people, you know, having loose relationships, if you want to call it that. That was just my experience, and that was what I chose at the time. And I see this time and time again. I always see it with like other single people that I meet, regardless of their age, whether they're like mid-20s, mid-30s, 40s, it must be a different experience. But I feel like as you get older, they feel sorry for you more. So I haven't been single in my 30s because I got married at 30, but I'm just interested to know how society's reactions are. So if you're single and you're watching this, regardless of your age, whether you're 20s, 30s, 40s and beyond, if you're happy to share, I'd love to hear your experiences down below in the comment section on how you feel society has treated you. I'm now in a position to be able to compare my experiences of how society and people treat me as a single woman and how they treat me as a married woman. And that is what I'm going to be going into now, because I feel like the experiences as a single woman and a married woman are quite different, but on a subconscious level, not necessarily on a conscious level. I do hate to say this, and I want to stress that I don't necessarily agree with it, but in my experience of being a single lady and then a married woman, I do feel like subconsciously society does treat you differently. I do feel like there is like a different level of respect there. Again, like I said, I don't agree with it. I don't agree that you should respect people more just because they're married, because it doesn't really, in the grand scheme of things, it's the same person. And I do feel like as a child-free individual, we're probably experiencing this a lot as well, because as you've probably experienced as a child-free person, is that people then again pity you, but they also don't respect your boundaries as much. Like they think they're entitled to all your time. They think that you can just cover for them at work. So there is that kind of boundary pushing as well, again, when you are child-free. But I can't even imagine if you're child-free and single, like these boundaries must be trying to be crossed like 24/7. And I just find that, I was thinking about this the other day, where I do find that society have this subconscious level of like, immediately when you say you're married, there's this level of like respect there, as if you're like a better person than when you were single. And I don't really understand it properly, if I'm honest, because I'm still the same person. Like I'm still unhinged, I'm still an absolute weirdo, and I've lent into that fully. But I don't see, it annoys me sometimes when I think to myself, are you treating me differently because I'm married? Would you treat me differently if I was single? Because when I remember the job I had when I was single, so all my work colleagues at the time were in relationships. They were either engaged, married, or expecting a baby, or all of the above. And I was the only single person. And I just remember the treatment was very, very different to different work experiences that I've been in. So people just push your boundaries less, a little less. Now, don't get me wrong, people who are in long-term relationships or civil partnerships or marriages or whatever, you can still lack boundaries as an individual. Don't get me wrong. I do think that as an individual, there's obviously been growth there as well. I don't feel like as soon as you're in a marriage, you're like safe or anything like this. I don't believe that personally. However, I just feel that there's a different kind of energy when people do find that out about you, is that as soon as someone would find out I was single, it would be suddenly like, right, people are asking you these personal questions. People are disrespecting boundaries. People think that they can be up in your face about stuff. People think that they can just ask you questions like, oh, what's your type? What kind of person are you into? Oh, when was your last relationship? Like they want to know all these ins and outs. And it's kind of like there's this lack of respect of just accepting someone as like, that person's single, end of discussion. Like get over it. Whether they're looking for someone or whether they're happy or whether they've just come out of a relationship, like who actually gives a fuck? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand what society's problem actually is with single women, but I am going to take a punt at the fact that it's because they don't need anyone. So a few weeks ago, I actually did this video on The Invisible Man about the rise of the 4B movement and why more women are leaning more towards the single lifestyle. So we all know that, we say society has an issue, but we all know that the most triggered people by single women are usually men. Or if you're child-free and single women, even worse. Like they would always be the ones saying like, oh, I have a friend who's single, or I have a friend who's this. And I was always like, I'm not fucking interested in your friend, like piss off. And they were always trying to put me on blind dates and meet up with this person, or, you know, send me to places. Oh, come out with such and such. And then, oh, you can meet or bump into this person. And it's like, guys, just chill the fuck out. Some of us don't give a shit. Like some of us like our own company. So let me just say this now for my single ladies watching this video. Whether you're single by choice, single and looking, single and dating, or you've just come out of a relationship and you want to rest a little bit and want to have a bit of time for yourself, let me just tell you this. Whenever anyone asks you intimate questions about why you're single and they start getting up in your face and up in your business, just remember that is that person projecting their fear onto you. That is literally it, guys. I've always come to back to this conclusion of like, it is just somebody else pushing their fear onto you. They're scared of being single. They're scared of not getting married. They're scared of never settling down, never having kids. This is something that they want. So they just expect you as a female specifically, I'm just specifically going to highlight women, they're just expecting you to want the status quo without even asking you, is that even what you want? They're just seeing a single woman and going, right, she's desperate for a man, she's desperate to settle down, she's desperate for kids. These are all just assumptions that people come up with because this is the box that they're putting you in. That is literally it. Society loves putting people in boxes. It loves putting people in little categories. So if you're a single lady, well, the assumption is like, oh my God, you're lonely and you live at home with 4 million cats. I mean, give me the 4 million cats any day. Like, I'll take them whether I'm single or married. But yeah, I said it also in that video before, like the whole you're going to be alone and die alone with cats in the house. This is not a fear anymore. Loads of people are actually like welcoming that reality and live that reality more quite happily. So I want to hear from you guys down below your experiences, especially if you've been single or married and now you're divorced or separated, if you've been in long-term relationships and you're back to being single, or you're in a long-term relationship now, or you're in a relationship because you've been single for a long time, whatever the scenario is and your age bracket, let me know of your experiences down below. And once again, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a massive thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.